Hi, it's Andrea Foulkes. It's the 14th of March 2013 and I'm back in, hooray, sunny Glastonbury, Avalon for a few days. I'm off to London at the weekend to see clients, but I really felt, as always, it's, when I feel this need to kind of make a little video clip, I just tend to do it, whether I was expecting to do it or not really. So I thought, what is this about? And I think it's about unconditional love. And what does that mean? Because I see in this evolving consciousness we're all going through, we're all at varyingly different stages in our own process of releasing our programming. And as you know, some of you understand that the programming and the thoughts and the beliefs come from your karma. It's not retributional karma, as in, you reap what you sow. You kind of don't really. It's a bit of an illusion, this reap what you sow. It's you judging you all the time. It's not really any external source judging you. Nobody's judging you. But you've programmed yourself by peer pressure from previous incarnations where humanity was in a much lower frequency of consciousness, and inside of us, in our hearts and our core energy field, we're carrying all these beliefs that were projected onto us by other people or by society or by our ancestors. And sometimes it's we judged ourselves ultimately, and they're still oscillating in our energy field. And so a lot of us are going through this unconditional love stage and having this experience with people outside of ourselves who are coming into our reality, ultimately as a gift. Although it doesn't always seem maybe like a gift when they come into your reality, because the lessons that they're teaching you, they're maybe unaware of the lessons they're teaching you. And, you maybe have some lessons to be teaching them. Whether they choose to see the lesson is their free will. And I think, when you accept what is unconditional love is shining love at people and at yourself. And, a lot of us are very good at shining this unconditional love at other people. And what does that mean if maybe we don't like their behavior or their actions in our reality? Well, we can't change the other people, so we can shine unconditional love at them, but we have to remove ourselves from their reality and the behavior that does not feel appropriate in our hearts for ourselves to be surrounded by. This is mastery of love of self. You can't change them, they're in their process. And so often it's pointless pointing out what you perceive as an affront or an error of their ways. It's just to remove yourself, and sometimes it's in our silence we have the greatest impact to evoke transformation in them. But really our lesson, we're not trying to change them, we're ultimately trying to change ourselves, and we're trying to remove ourselves from uncomfortable situations and people who are not coming from a space of love. Maybe they're coming from obviously a space of lack, because a lot of people they're very angry with the governments, and they're very angry with the banks, and they're very angry with the food companies, but they don't realize that they're actually quite manipulative in their own energies. And so what they sometimes dislike in others is their own manipulation. And for some other people, it's not that they're manipulative. What it is they've been passive too long. They've accepted other people's truth as being more important than their own truth, and that's become very difficult for them to put themselves first. And everyone's at a different level of awakening, and I see many manipulative people around, and they would never label themselves manipulative. They don't realize their energy is manipulative. And how does that serve you in your reality? Well, you don't want to be around people who are consciously manipulative of you or unconsciously manipulative of you when it doesn't feel appropriate for you. So what do? You need to remove yourself from that reality. And sometimes standing there going, you're a manipulative person, they maybe don't even see that in themselves. They're so unconscious of their behavior. They've probably been running this behavior for maybe even a few lifetimes, let alone this lifetime. So they're maybe not going to see that their way of existing in this dimension is manipulative. But maybe you've wised up to that now, and you've seen that you have been surrounded in your lifetime by manipulative people. It doesn't necessarily mean you are manipulative. When we talk about the mirror, it's, well, you've been too nice, you've been too passive. And it doesn't mean you have to get aggressive. It means you have to go, okay, I can see the story, I can see what's going on here, I can see how these people use their energy. And it's not in the higher vibrations. It's very third dimensional energy. And a lot of people acquired wealth or success in third dimension working on that energy. But that energy is leaving. And so how does that serve you? Well, it serves you by awakening to what's happening to you and just removing yourself energetically from being available to those kinds of people or organizations or companies or jobs, whatever it is. Just remove yourself from that reality. You don't need to support it. You don't need to be around it. You can remove yourself. I know maybe sometimes it's difficult if you realize you're maybe even married to a manipulative person. That's going to be very challenging. So you will find a way that serves you. It's not about trying to awaken the other people, because that's a futile process, and all that will create is angry egos arguing at you, and that's just exhausting when you're confronted with angry egos, you know. And I think so many people are awakening now with the food process as well, you know, and they're not wanting to eat animals, and that's huge disassociation consciousness between what we're doing and the reality of our actions. And people are in denial of that because they don't want to feel guilt. You know, the biggest emotion most people don't want to feel is guilt. And yet when we access that feeling, which is what I help people do, is access those feelings that they're terrified of feeling, they just flow out of you and they're cleared and they're not in your energy field. And when you're not trying to ignore that or deny it, you move into a higher vibration, a higher space of being within yourself, which is ever more joyful, changes the reality going on around you. And eventually those people, they can't hook into your energy field anymore. You're beyond their vibration. But while you held unconscious guilt and fear, they could hook into you because there was not enough awareness of self. So really, the other people are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself to take action for you. That's the only real responsibility you have, is to yourself. To thine own self be true. And even if you find a truth out about someone, sometimes it doesn't serve you to go around telling everyone, do you know this about this person? Because their experience of them might be completely different, and it might just be a personal karmic thing that's gone on between you two. They might be perfectly lovely to everyone else. It might be just some personal karma that's going on between the two of you. And so it's your responsibility to process that as best you can for your own soul's highest purpose, so you can be free, you know. And everything is supporting this now. I personally am going to be in London this weekend seeing clients, doing my soul freedom therapy, inner journey work, you know, which is past life regression, inner child therapy, spirit releasement, ancestral timeline healing, light language clearings and activations. And they work and they're very powerful. But I can't necessarily explain how they work in a very deep level. It's for you to experience what you feel in your heart is right, and to honor the call that comes to you, whether it's in dream time or meditation. If it's coming from a space of love, honor that message that you're getting, whatever it is, and follow through. You don't want to be in procrastinating energy with good intention to do stuff, but actually in physicality, you just procrastinate. It's not going to help you evolve out of this illusionary matrix which we've all lived in for the experience, and we wanted it. So time to move on and you know, have fun. It's like, it's going to be good for us. We're going to enjoy it. So have a beautiful day. Okay, bye.